Hello everyone, David Reed here. Just want to take a moment to thank you for being a part of my brief overview of the Sunday school lesson for Sunday, January 11th, 2026. The lesson title is Repentance and Faith. The lesson scriptures are coming from the book of St. Luke, chapter 15, verses 11 through 24, and the book of Acts, chapter 2, verses 38 and 39. I'm just going to read a few verses from the book of St. Luke, and then I'll have a question that you can put your answers in the comments below, or you could bring your answers with you to Sunday school at Pilgrim this Sunday at 9:30 at Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church. All right, our lesson today is a parable. Jesus is speaking in a parable. Now, a parable, as you may know, is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. Now, the parable that Jesus is teaching is a familiar one, the parable of the prodigal son. Now, prodigal is a word we don't use too much anymore, but prodigal simply means a person who spends money in a reckless and extravagant way. I think we all have heard of someone like that. So our lesson, scriptures coming from St. Luke, chapter 15. I'm just going to read 11, 12, and 13. And they read as follows. To illustrate the point further, Jesus told them this story. A man had 2 sons. The younger son told his father, "I want my share of your estate now, before you die." So his father agreed to divide his wealth between his sons. Verse 13, a few days later, this younger son packed all his belongings and moved to a distant land, and there he wasted all his money in wild living. So we'll read the rest of this in our lesson on Sunday. But I want to ask you to list some characteristics displayed by the prodigal son that were revealed by his actions. So we could tell by his actions, for example, one of the things I would put on my list would be the prodigal son was impatient. So feel free to list 3 things that you saw about the prodigal son that was revealed by his actions. So my question is, focusing on one of those characteristics, mine being impatient, evaluate its impact on others as well as personal Christian growth. So, for example, evaluate the impact my impatience would have on others, and evaluate how my impatience would affect my Christian growth. So, whichever characteristic you picked out, show how that would impact yourself and how that would impact others. So we'll look forward to seeing you Sunday, January 11th at our Young Adult Sunday School class, 9:30 at Pilgrim Missionary Baptist Church. You have a wonderful day. And remember, there is no Sunday school without you. See you soon.